the goal here. I want to monetize. I want to get paid for my work. So why would I upload a pattern on YouTube where people can watch it for free? I can get paid for video views if I monetize. I was going to delete this, but I need y'all to see. As soon as I got ready to speak, all you hear is, Mom.
Mom.
Yeah, baby.
On Batman, I just saw. Okay, you really need to see this. Look, they're in the way. Mom, look, they're in the way. Trying to block the car, but they get ran over.
What they gonna do?
They're just gonna stay.
Hey friends, welcome back to Just Whit. This is a crafting podcast where I talk about my crochet, knitting, and clay projects. I also talk about other art adventures that I'm taking and life and all the other things that come up. This is episode 20, and if you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I truly appreciate both new and returning people coming to watch these videos. I can't even express how I can't even express how grateful I am to be able to take the time to make these videos and how thankful I am for people to actually care that I'm making these videos. So thank you for being here and welcome to episode 20. Today is probably gonna be a short one. I don't have that much to talk about, but I decided to pop on because I have something to talk about. And I told myself that in order to film more, that I'm not going to wait until I have massive amounts of projects done, or I'm not going to pressure myself to have a lot of subjects to discuss. So I took some notes on a random little piece of trash, and I just have a few things to discuss today. So let's get into it. All right. I am talking about a project that is been done for a long time. This is my first ever crochet garment pattern, and it's titled Keep It Cute. This is a crochet sweater that is worked from the bottom up, and it's a turtleneck, or you can do a mock turtleneck, which is the kind of turtleneck that doesn't fold over. It's long sleeve, there's ribbing on the wrist, and the neck is ribbed. Now I'm going to insert a video of me rocking my finished object that I finished back in 2020? I don't know. It's been a minute. Now, being that it was my first crochet garment design, and I really just jumped into the world of designing. This pattern was released back then, 2019. It was released in 2019, and it was rough. It was so unpolished, and I wrote this pattern as a person who doesn't follow patterns. I wrote this pattern as a person who has never even attempted to follow a pattern. And it needed love. It needed TLC, it needed tech editing, it needed pictures, it needed everything. So I re-released this pattern in 2022. And okay, let's go back to 2019. I put this pattern through testing because I saw on the Instagram that that's what the designers were doing. So I gathered up the testers and I had them make theirs, and that went well. But I'm honestly very shocked that these testers were even able to decipher what I wanted them to do, because the pattern was so far gone that it was really just meant for me to read. And I'm so grateful that my testers were able to make it through that pattern. and come out on the other end with a wearable thing. So fast forward to 2022, when I have experienced more design-wise, put myself through a rigorous little boot campy thing of tech editing, and I learned so much in that little short span of time that I decided I need to redo this pattern. I need to completely wipe it clean and start over. I went from like 6 pages of pattern down to like 3, which is crazy. My original pattern was blah, 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 and then a blah, 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 and then chain 3 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this new pattern is like so much simpler, so much easier to understand, and I'm not even sure how my testers made it through, but they made it through, and these new people are having a much easier time creating their own Keep It Cute sweater. Originally, it was called Cropped Turtleneck Sweater. It was as basically named, excuse me, allergies are coming for me this season. They're really coming for me. Like, I feel like I did something to the environment. Maybe I didn't recycle enough. The air. Whew. Okay. Anyway. I don't even know where I was before those painful sneezes. Okay, the new Keep It Cute sweater, it got its title. It got a title because the original name was not really a title. It was just, this is what it is, and this is what I'm calling it. Cropped turtleneck sweater pattern. I decided that I needed to give it a real name. And after much thought and much consideration, I decided to name it based on how I feel when I'm wearing it. And my original cream colored one, which I'll show you here, I get a lot of wear out of this thing. I've worn it so many times. It's breezy, but you can layer and you can keep it, you can be warm. You can wear it in the spring when it's not that cool, but just a little nipply outside. Sorry, my eyes are so itchy. But yeah, I got a lot of wear out of that original one, and I actually made the blue one around the same time that I made the tan one, or cream colored one. And I rarely ever wore the blue one because I made that one a couple sizes too big on purpose for like an oversized vibe, and I ended up just not really wearing it because it was almost like too warm. But I realized that there will be some times for it. And more recently, I decided to bust it out, and now it's in the rotation. It's been cooler lately, so I've been able to wear it more. And I actually can't even show it to you right now because it is in the wash machine. So I'll tell you, I've been wearing the thing. Now, my originals are made out of acrylic. They are basic, like Joann's Big Twist acrylic yarn. Nothing fancy there, and I did that on purpose because, one, back then I didn't even know what a hand-dyed yarn was. I didn't know anything about people dipping yarn and pigment and changing the color. All I knew was Joann sells yarn, Michael sells yarn. Joann and Michael's is my friends, and that's where I used to get my yarn. So I made my sweaters, my original patterns, out of that yarn. And I still use acrylic yarn from time to time for various things. It's a workhorse. And I love those originals because I can just toss them in the wash. My blue one was sitting on my dinner table at the chair, and my daughter spilled juice on it, and I threw it in the wash. I don't have to do anything fancy. It doesn't lose its shape. it acrylic. It's acrylic. It's a forgiving yarn and it's a cheap yarn. So don't be ashamed if you're using acrylic, and don't let anybody talk to you and tell you that you should be using wool and doop-de-doo. Look, wool isn't for everybody. There's allergies, there's sensitivities, there's budgets, there's other options. Okay? So my originals, I don't even know what I was getting at, but just know that I threw that thing in the wash because I wear it so often, and it's in the rotation now. But on the note of fiber content and, you know, being versatile, I decided that I'm gonna make myself another Keep It Cute. And this one's gonna be made out of wool. For whatever reason, I had some Whit wool to use, and the pattern calls for worsted, but this Whit wool that I have is on the worsted side, on the worsted end of Aran. So I figured, oh, this is perfect for my Keep It Cute. And I had 5 skeins of it. I technically am only gonna need like 4 of them. So I started one last night. And this is where I'm at right now. So I've got the body and part of the front done. Now with this pattern, you work from the bottom to the top, as I mentioned. You split for the front and back. Then you make seams on the shoulders, create the neck, and then you go and pick up at the armhole for the sleeves, and you work your way down to the ribbing on the cuffs. If you want ribbing on the cuffs, you don't have to. So yes, I am already like, I don't know, not 50% done, because sleeves are kind of a lot. I would say I'm like 30% done. And yes, this one is cropped as well. I love a crop, even though I don't have a flat tummy and I am plus size. I wear like a size 16. I love a crop because you don't have to use as much yarn and it's faster. And I already got to work a lot more stitches in the horizontal direction. So why not capitalize on working less stitches in the vertical direction so I can get done with my project faster? I wear a lot of high-waisted pants. I wear a lot of skirts and dresses and things. So I could pair a crop with a dress. I could pair a crop with jeans that are high-waisted. I could go maxi skirt, bodycon, whatever. I can make it work. And my tummy's not going anywhere. Even when I lose weight, that tummy is still there because I like to eat. So yeah, we're doing crops. We're doing plus size girl crops. So this is the bottom and this is part of the front. And then the modification that I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to go in and do a couple of short rows at like the nape of the neck at the back before I seam for the shoulders and add the neckline, because one of my yarny friends that I follow on Instagram, she made her own version of this Keep It Cute, and she mentioned that she made some modifications in the back to allot for her shoulders, which are more on the broad side, and my shoulders are broad as well. I was like, I could benefit from that. And then also, typically garments are going to have a higher back than the front. And so when I make these modifications to this one, I will document it. I will document the short row neck area modifications to this version. And then I will make a note in the pattern as well. I'll either add a new page or add a section if I can fit it to the existing 3 pages, and I'll explain what I did to create that raised back for this one. Now, I would like to also point out that my original two, so let's start with the first one. The very first one, the cream colored one, was made in my proper size. And this was made before I learned about the foundation stitch, the foundation chain, or the foundation triple crochet for this pattern. So my original sweater is actually a little tight around the bottom edge. It's no problem putting it on, but just, you know, it doesn't, it kind of creates like a little blooming, like kind of bubble effect because the chain is just a regular chain. And then I worked my way up. Now the second time around, I had learned a few things. So for the blue one, it has foundation triple crochet chain to start it off, and then you work your way up. And then I learned something else. I learned about turned rounds. So a turned round is basically in preparation for something that will need to be split for, like, say you're splitting for the front and the back for this one. Now, if I were to work this bottom portion in the round continuously, well, not continuously, not a spiral, but if I were to just work it in the round without turning, there would be a clear front and back, or a clear right and wrong side. And then when I split, I'd be working flat. So there would be alternating right and wrong side, you know, the front and back of the triple crochet stitch, if I'm explaining that properly. How do I say this? I think that explains it. Basically, if I were to work this in a round without turning my work, this part would look different than this part. And that is true for my first two. If you look closely, or if you're an experienced crocheter and you just plainly look at it, you can see that the upper half of my sweaters is different than the lower half. It's all triple crochet stitches. However, they're not turned rounds, which results in a line happening and a separation between the two segments. So when I rewrote the pattern in 2022, I explicitly stated that you need to do turn rounds in order for continuity. But I don't actually possess a Keep It Cute sweater with turned rounds. So this is my first one with actually turned rounds. And you can see it kind of creates a little zigzag if you really look at the stitches, a little ripple look, and that continues. So you look from this side, it looks the same all the way up. So this is going to be probably my favorite one because I've learned so much in this process. And I've learned, I learned the foundation stitches. I learned turned rounds. And more recently, I learned that even a boxy, blocky item as this can benefit from a raised back being higher than the front. So this Keep It Cute sweater, I literally just started it yesterday and I could not put it down. I was just jamming. I was watching a show on Peacock called Quantum Leap, and just stitching away all happily. I didn't even document the first part of this because there was no time. I was busy stitching. There was no time to set up lighting and phone and camera. I was just stitching away. And that right there was just pure bliss. So I have a little bit longer to go on this front panel, and then I'm going to break my yarn, reattach, and work the back panel, then work the short rows, then I'll start documenting so that I can add these little tidbits into the pattern. So yeah, I'm excited for this, and keep up with this channel, because I'm thinking I might do my segue into becoming like more of an instructional and tutorial based presence here. I mean, I'm not going to stop podcasting, even though only a handful of people watch my podcast. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going because I enjoy podcasting. It's fun. Talking about the things that are bringing me joy, talking about the things that are challenging me, talking about things I've learned, and hoping that I can help other people and inspire other people. Come on, I'm going to keep going. Even if it's just 20 of you watching, I'm going to keep going. So, I will be back with more complete on that Keep It Cute sweater. I'm using Dream in Color yarn, and this was gifted to me by my friend Darcy. I believe she just never found a use for it, and yeah, so it's Aran weight, and it's not going to focus because why would it? That would just be too easy, wouldn't it? Whatevs. It's Aran weight. You get 200 yards for this 4 ounces, and it recommends, huh?
I'm building my house.
Oh. It recommends a US size 8 needle, which I believe translates into a 5mm knitting needle, which I'm using a 5mm crochet hook. So I'm right in that sweet spot for this yarn, and that's what the pattern calls for. So it works out. And you get 200 yards, but I believe that my size for this pattern only needs like 730 yards, and I have 1,000 yards because I have 5 of these.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm gonna have some extra. I don't know what I'm gonna make with that extra, but I'm gonna have some extra. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about tutorials, but I realized I forgot to talk about what I'm wearing. Now, I believe I spoke about this sweater, this tee, a long time ago on another pod, several episodes back. And this is another thing that is well loved and worn a lot. The yarn here, Renee, the yarn here is dyed by Jada Wu Designs. I'll link her below in the description. She's an indie dyer, and the pattern is the Maya top, and that's designed by Hello Gabriella. Gabriella is a knitwear designer, but she also has some crochet designs, I believe, or at least one. Don't quote me. I'm gonna link her below as well. And she has a podcast titled Fiber Dose, which has a couple episodes. She is figuring out the work-life balance of momming and working and podcasting just like me. And so definitely check out her channel and definitely check out her website for her designs. The Maya top is a top-down circular yoke. It's got some texture here, and then a little texture just before you end for the sleeves here. And then I went with the rolled bottom edge. Now, as I mentioned, this top is well loved. I wear it a lot. And I noticed right before I put this on today that it has some kind of weird situation where some stitches were dropped, and I'm not sure how that happened. So I actually have to repair it. I just stuck a little stitch marker lever back hook and picked up the stitches and then closed it. And I'm still wearing it because you can't see the drama back there. But I feel like this top is it's just so cute and it's comfy, and I kind of want to make another one because it's so cute and comfy. I don't know. Have you made a Maya top? It's a pretty popular design. It's not brand new or anything, but I still see people making them. So, you know, if you're a bandwagoner, a proud bandwagoner, hop on. It's just so cute. So I'm here to knitfluence you to knit a Maya top, which is named for Maya Angelou. And yeah, it's cute. So knit you one. I rarely ever wear stuff that I made for these podcasts, which is kind of strange to think about. Why I always end up wearing something that's not handmade. I'm gonna try to change that because I have quite a few handmade things that I can wear, that I do wear all the time. But when I sit down to pod to film, for some reason I'm never wearing handmade things. So weird. The last two things that I want to talk about are tutorials and YouTube-based patterns. Now, as I had mentioned, on this platform, I am trying to pour more energy here. I am trying to be more present. I am trying to film more and testing different formats, whether it's a vlog or a pod or a work from home with me or whatever. I'm just testing out the waters to see what works. I've had some success, some mild success in the realm of tutorials. And unfortunately, my watch hours are so spread out over the couple of years since I posted those tutorials that it doesn't really affect my ability to increase my watch hours to monetize. Ultimately, that's the goal here. I want to monetize because I have my business, and that's my physical items and my digital items. And then I have social media. I don't work outside of this. This is my job. So I would love to create another stream of income doing something that I love, which is filming. And so I'm thinking about, I'm in the process of tutorials and patterns here on YouTube. I'm in the process of becoming more tutorial based. So I want to know what you guys would like to see. My original goal is to create tutorials that will help you make the patterns that I have that are existing. Create tutorials that I deem fun and exciting and maybe holiday themed and quick little projects. My very first tutorial that I've posted since deciding that I want to do this thing is a little heart motif. And I kind of like created the pattern as I was making the tutorial, and that was fun for me. So I could do more stuff like that. Someone had mentioned when talking about the Keep It Cute sweater that she had never done a triple crochet stitch. And I'm like, oh girl, you can learn that on YouTube. But what I would love is to have my own video to float over to people and say, oh, I can teach you. Sit down and watch this video. Get at me if you are still confused. And so I want to do that. And I want to know what y'all think about that. If that's something that you would watch, tutorials that are based on existing patterns, stitch tutorials, technique tutorials. And then I'm looking at the people that upload entire patterns as videos. And I first thought, I charge for my patterns. I want to get paid for my work. So why would I upload a pattern on YouTube where people can watch it for free? And then I thought about it and I was like, I can get paid for video views if I monetize. So that's the wavelength I'm trying to float on right now. If I can work my way toward getting monetized, I can get paid for my work. People can participate in the fiber arts with me without having to pay directly. And it's like the best of both worlds, right? Am I right? I think. So I literally wrote patterns on YouTube with a question mark. But there's really not a question about it. It's a good thing when you look at the benefits over the long run. And so I think maybe I'll start off with my, in my last pod, I talked about this turtleneck that I'm working on. And it's gonna be from the top down this time. And it starts off with the neck and then you pick up stitches. You make the shoulders and then you work around. So it's gonna be a fun construction. And because it's a fun construction, and by fun I really mean kind of unheard of, I think it would be a good place to start for my very first like YouTube pattern. So I'm gonna be working on that, and I just wanted to let y'all know that that's something that's in the works, something you can look out for and look forward to from me, because I really need y'all's support. I really appreciate when I see the same people watching my different formats of videos. Maybe you watch my doll tutorial and then you're like, oh, let me see what else she's got. And then I see you commenting on multiple. I love that. That's like, makes my heart go boom, boom. Because I'm like, you are loving my content and that's who I'm doing it for. I mean, I'm doing it for you and I'm also doing it for me too, because I love filming and because I want another income stream. Because I like to, you know, pay bills that I have and eat and go places. So I got to make monies. So say all that to say, look out. I'm coming. Pattern YouTube. I'm coming. I will be there very soon. All right, and I believe that is all I have for episode 20 of Just Whit. I believe that's it. That's all I put on my list. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you being here more than you know. I truly appreciate comments and feedback, and let me know if I changed up my lighting and my setup here. Let me know if you like this. I think it's a little better than the last video. I truly appreciate y'all giving me feedback, constructive criticism, however you want to get at me. You can email me, you can respond in the comments, however, or just if you're shy, then that's all right. I feel your energy. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and until next time.